Thank you for viewing this recording of a free event provided by Next Village San Francisco for our community. Next Village San Francisco is a local nonprofit providing services and support that empower seniors to live independently in their own homes. We welcome people who want to keep connected with their community as members, volunteers, and supporters. We host 30 to 40 free activities and events each month for the public, and our members have access to our network of volunteers. Learn more and get involved at nextvillagesf.org. We hope you enjoy this video.
So what we're going to do today is I'm going to go ahead and get started, give you some background information about the FPI, and then I'll turn it over to Jackie to talk about some scams, and then back to me. So we're going to go back and forth, and then again, we'll go ahead and take your questions at the end. You can again type it in chat or go ahead and ask the question at the end, and I'm sure we'll have plenty of time to get have a chance to chat with everybody. But first, I'm going to give a shout out to the other Sally. I saw a Sally joining us. So it's not often there, I meet another Sally, especially on the webinar. So thank you for joining us. Again, Jack and I are here to talk to you about what you can do to protect yourself from frauds and scams. So before we get started, I want to give you a little disclaimer, some important information about this presentation, and that is that the views and opinions expressed in this presentation are those of the presenter. They do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of the DFPI. This presentation is for educational and informational purposes only. This is not financial advice and does not replace independent or professional judgment. The DFPI does not assume responsibility for the completeness of the information presented in this presentation. So for more information, please go to our website at dfpi.ca.gov, or you can email us, our outreach team, at outreach@dfpi.ca.gov. So who are we? We are the Department of Financial Protection and Innovation, or DFPI for short. We are the state's regulator for the financial service market, which basically we regulate, license, and oversee all financial institutions, products, and professionals that does business within the state. We are a state agency. We used to be called the Department of Business Oversight, or DBO. We are a consumer protection agency, and again, we regulate, license, and oversee the entire financial services market. Now, we conduct exams to ensure state and federal compliance. We pursue legal actions along with the local police department or Department of Justice to make sure we go after these bad actors. We also investigate consumer complaints, and these complaints are coming from you guys, reporting any issues that you might have against one of our licensees. And you can do that by going to our website at dfpi.ca.gov or calling us at our toll-free number. Now, we also educate consumers. I mentioned earlier to Camille that we have a 6-person outreach team that we cover the entire state. And Jackie and I have the privilege of working with our older adult demographics statewide. And part of the education that we do is giving our educational webinars, seminars on how you can protect yourself from fraud, along with identity theft information protection, as well as financial literacy information. So when I talk about that we license the financial service industry and the financial institution products, who is that? Who is it exactly that we regulate? We're talking about your state chartered banks and credit unions, your residential mortgage loan originators or your loan servicers, your California finance lenders, your PACE administrators, your escrow agents, payday loans, money transmitters, that includes PayPal, Zelle, and Venmo. Also your investment advisors, your broker dealers, your franchisers, your debt collectors, your credit repair agencies, consumer credit reporting companies, and many more. And again, you can find a complete list on our website at dfpi.ca.gov or call us toll free at our number at 866-275-2677. And the average wait time when you call our toll-free number is 5 minutes. So we are not one of those state agencies where you have to wait on hold for an hour and then you're the next person on hold and it goes click and you're like, what happened? And you have to call back and do this process again. No, we do have our experts on the call so you can ask questions. If you are approached by a new person talking about some great financial or investment opportunity, you can go ahead and give us a call and say, hey, I heard about this. Is this a scam? We can help you. And if it's you have a complaint about an issue and we are not the regulator, we can also refer you to the state or federal agencies that can help you and provide you support. So give us a call. Don't be afraid. And then let's move on. Okay, so who are scammers targeting? And I'm going to go ahead and turn this over to my colleague, Jackie Wiley, to talk about all these scams, the common scams and frauds. What can you look out for?
All right, Sally. It's blank. Do you need to press the button or something to put the information up there? There you go. Okay, stop right there. Okay, so good morning, everyone. I am also one of the targeted outreach specialists with the DFPI, and I'm going to say DFPI because the Department of Financial Protection and Innovation, that name is just way too long for me to keep saying throughout this presentation. I've been with the department for many years. I've been doing outreach probably for about 20 years. So thank you again, Camille, for having us back. Like Sally said, we were here 2 years ago. And those of you who are on with us today, thank you for being here. We're going to talk about a lot of different types of scams, mostly the ones that are trending. You've heard of them. You may not have heard of them. I'm going to provide some examples. But let's just start right here. Who are scammers targeting? And that's right, it's you, it's us, it's all of us. And this chart right here is actually from the Federal Trade Commission um, about the complaints that they received by group and age. So if you go down a little bit, can you see the 60 plus? 101,000 consumers were scammed in 2023 to a loss of $3.4 billion, billion with a B. So we know that there are so many people that are falling victim to these frauds and scams and losing their money, losing their savings, losing their homes. And this is why it's so important for us to come around throughout Southern California and educate consumers, especially our older adults, not putting any stigma on us. What we are, we're kind, we're trusting, we are believing the phone calls, the text messages, the emails. But I'm going to share some tools with you to help you protect yourself from falling victim to financial frauds and scams. And as you can see, under 20 is at 40.7 million dollars. So this chart shows us that anyone is susceptible to becoming a victim of fraud, but we know that our older adults are normally the prime. Next slide, please. So let's just talk about this. Do not respond to scammers. Yes, Bobby?
Can I ask, I'm not getting any sites. Am I supposed to be? I
You're
don't
not
know.
getting what?
Are
So
you?
Bobby, yeah, Bobby, in the upper right of your Zoom, you should be able to click. There's a little word that says view, VIEW. If you click on that, does
I'm on
anything
an
come up?
iPad, so I see the grid, I see sound, and I see a camera. Maybe that's it? No.
Nope, not the camera. So
Oh,
maybe try sliding to the left or right. Try sliding the screen to the
the
left or
whole
right.
screen?
Yeah.
Oh,
Can you see the slide with the
okay.
phone on it?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay,
Thank you.
perfect.
All right.
Awesome.
So I'm just going to start by saying we should not be responding to unknown calls, sudden text messages, sudden emails. You should be ignoring anyone contacting you that you don't know. And most importantly, do not engage. This is what they want you to do. So the 3 bullets down below, they've come up with some new names to kind of, excuse me, try to confuse us. Vishing, which simply means contacting us via telephone, whether you still have a home phone or our cell phones. Vishing means contacting us via telephone. Phishing with the PH, that term has been around for many, many years, and that is a way that they are contacting us through the computer, whether you are surfing on the internet, if you are online shopping, if you're getting different types of messages, and through our emails as well. Smishing is a new terminology that I was privy to learn since COVID. And this is simply text messages. Sometimes we'll see on our cell phones a notice, and then you'll see a number like 456. That is what we call smishing. It's a quick text message, and they want you to click here, call this number back, and reply back. And it's always, always, always of urgency. All 3 of these have the same thing in common, wanting you to act quickly, respond immediately, and it's always of importance or an urgent matter for you to respond to the text message or the phone call. But I'm here to let you know, please don't engage. Ignore anyone contacting you that you don't know. And here's the reasons why. Next slide, please. So we want you to be aware of these scams, and it's a full list. And this is probably just scraping the surface a little bit. I want to start with imposter scams. This is so rampant, and we're calling them imposter scams. And that is exactly what it means. The definition of imposter means it's unknown. You don't really know who the person is. They are fraudulently acting as an individual. So that they can defraud you. So I want to talk a little bit about some of the imposter scams that are very rampant and very prevalent. That grandparent relative scams. I can't see everybody's screen, so I usually ask my audience how many people have actually heard of the grandparent slash relative scam. This is so rampant, and again, always a sense of urgency. If you haven't heard it or received a phone call pertaining to this, it's grandma, I'm in trouble. I need your help. And when someone tells you not to do something and they're telling you not to contact their parent, that is a red flag sign. But the urgency and the manner of the call, of the caller, please don't please don't tell mom or dad I've gotten in trouble. My friends and I have been arrested. We were at a bar fight or whatever, and everybody's gotten arrested. But the officer is saying, if you send money right now, I won't have to go to jail. That's the red flag sign right there. Everyone on this call today does not want any grandchild, relative, loved one to be in any harm's way. So of course you're going to be heightened. Of course you're going to be nervous about the call, but I implore to you to stop, think about it. And what we don't want to do is, Sally, is that you? You sound different. Don't call off the name, because now you have engaged and you have provided that information to that unknown caller, indicating that your loved one is in trouble. Before you depart with your money, you need to verify that that individual is actually in trouble. 9 times out of 10, they aren't. And then I want to just throw in here the AI factor, which is the artificial intelligence scams that we are hearing so much about. Things are starting to go in that era where things look real. They can FaceTime you and have taken a photo of Sally and put it on the phone, so that now I'm looking at Sally and the mouth is moving and she's saying, I need help, mom. Please, please send the money. But I'm looking at her, her voice sounds just like her. So you're more likely to believe it. AI is a how do you call it? Like a generated person, but it's made to look like the individual. People are falling for this because of AI's um, likeliness. The voice sounds really real. So please, when you and if you get that phone call, do not do not divulge any names. Maybe you'll want to do something like asking them, if this is Sally, what's your mother's maiden name? What high school did you go to? Something that the caller will not know. You should discuss that amongst your family in case they do receive a phone call, because it's going to alarm you. These calls come in the middle of the night, they come during the day, when you first wake up. So we're really not, all there at that time. So they want you to be confused. Debt collectors. We're hearing a lot of people receiving phone calls about debt collectors. A debt collector, just so you know, is a third party indicating that you owe a debt from a previous creditor. For example, if I had a Sears card and my balance I know has been paid off, but I get a phone call, another incoming phone call from someone that I don't know, but they are identifying themselves as the debt collector, saying that my debt has come into their office across their table. And if you pay 250 of the 500 that you owe, we're going to wipe your debt clean. So stop and think. If you know you didn't have a Sears card or whatever they are indicating you owe, you should be doing what? Terminating that phone call, terminating it, not engaging. Okay. Other imposter scams that we are seeing and hearing about are the government imposter scams. Now, we work for a government agency, state, federal, and counties. We're not calling you. We're not calling you to ask you for any money. The IRS, you have a phone viewer on your cell phone, and it may show up as Internal Revenue Service. So it's like, oh, wow, why is the IRS calling me? Automatically, you're going to be thinking, why is the IRS calling me? And when you answer that, because it showed that's who it was, you're going to hear someone saying something maybe to the effect that your taxes are back due. There was a problem with your form that was submitted. No, remember this presentation. The IRS is not going to call you without sending you some type of letter in the mail. Okay. So just know that. And then there's Social Security call that you may receive, a recording saying that your Social Security number has been compromised some kind of way. Please know that this, I don't even know how people would compromise your Social Security card unless you lost it. But my thing is this: the Social Security Administration is not going to call you to tell you that, okay? And then let's talk about this utility company scam. Oh my gosh, we have so many people who are falling for this, getting a phone call indicating that their utilities are going to be shut off unless they pay right now, today. The person is going to identify themselves as being from the utility company that you use, and they are working in the delinquent department. Let's stop right there. There's no such thing as a delinquent department within a utility company. If your utility bill is late because you know that you didn't pay it. Maybe you forgot to pay it. Maybe you wrote the check. Maybe you didn't write the check. The company is not going to call you. The gas company, DWP, is not going to call you and say, hey, Camille, I'm from the delinquent department with DWP, and I see that your bill is due today. If you don't pay it today, we're going to shut off your services. They're not going to remind you that you need to pay your bill. Automatic red flag sign. And you should know that if any bill is late, you're going to get that notice in the mail saying past due, pay now. So please don't let fear move you to depart from your money, giving out checking account numbers or giving out credit card numbers to make a payment that you know that you don't owe. And even if you did, they're not calling you to remind you. law enforcement, they're not calling us to ask us for money, but maybe you'll get that phone call that says, hey, we're doing a fundraiser. Would you like to donate? This is Officer Jones from the 4th Street San Francisco Police Department. Please know that they're not going to call you to ask you for that. Okay. They don't solicit. Financial institutions, this is a big one. If you get a phone call from someone, again, posing as a person from your bank, please, please, please don't engage. Always remember, if you're receiving the call, you should be skeptical. If you're receiving a call and someone may say, hi, is this Jackie? And they'll call off your name like they know you. But financial institutions are not going to normally call you to say there was a problem with your account. You're going to probably get a text message or an email. So again, you still need to be mindful because we have people who are posing as financial individuals. Okay. So if you get the phone call, please don't engage. If you are concerned, which I would be, and I'm pretty sure everybody on this call would be nervous if someone called and say, hey, I noticed some suspicious activity on your account. Please verify your banking number. No, 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 no. Incoming call could be an imposter, most likely is an imposter. What you do is you will hang up and you will go to the source yourself. What does that mean? If I get a call from the IRS, I'm going to hang up and I'm going to go to the source. I'm going to look up the number. I'm going to go to a number that I know of the Social Security Administration office. I'm going to call my utility company by going to get my bill and getting the number off there. Same with the bank, same with the law enforcement. Never provide any information with incoming calls. If they call your name, you recognize the organization or you bank with that institution. Remember, imposters are rampant. Go to the source yourself and return the call and say, hey, I got this text message, I got this email. I just want to verify that everything is okay with my account. I want to verify that everything is okay with my utility bill, my credit card, all of that. Go to the source. Investment scams, same thing. The economy is very different. It's very, that's what it is today. It's So we have people who look to make investments. Maybe you want to start an AUD in your backyard, looking to make money or, to help supplement or just looking to make money. Please verify, contact the department before you fork over any money. Do your own research. Go to the source yourself. Don't always take what an individual is saying to you at face value. And again, if you get a phone call and you're going to keep getting that phone call because that's what they do, they wear us down. They want you to say, okay, what's the investment about? How much money does it cost? I can do the 5,000. What do I need to do from here? So don't allow fear or the take your time in making a decision. Do your research. These romance scams are really something else. A lot of people are online. It's not even just about Facebook anymore. I mean, people are doing Instagram, they're doing TikTok, they are looking for love. And I'm going to say all in the wrong places sometimes. You don't need to find romance through the computer, okay? So if I'm looking at your profile because I'm on singleswannamingle.com, whatever they have out there, and I'm looking at different photos, they're looking at you as well. You might want to consider the fact that those are Photoshop. That is that really what Bobby looks like? Is that really what Sally Carson looks like? So you want to be mindful of that. And let's take it a step further. Remember, AI, that artificial intelligence, where it looks really good, And you know the saying, if it sounds too good to be true, it normally is, because what's going to happen, I found the love of my life. We are communicating. Now they're going to start wanting you to take the conversation offline. When that happens, you know you're in trouble. Then when they start asking for money, that is a problem. You can't see them. You can't FaceTime because my phone is so old. I've been meaning to get me a new one. Don't worry, I'll send you the money for that so that we can see each other. Don't allow these romances to sweep you off your feet and then deplete your bank account at the same time, okay? Tech support scams, come on, people. If you're on your computer, like you saw, Bobby saw, or Betsy saw, I was having computer problems, but I didn't get a pop-up that said virus or your computer has become infected. If you are on your computer and you get a sudden pop-up and they want you to call this toll-free number so they can fix it, what should you be doing? Shut it off, shut it down, and get off of it, okay? Do not call the number that is provided in that pop-up. Again, another scam imposter posing to fix your computer. We've had people in our audiences to the tunes of thousands of dollars because each time they would say, you paid 1,000, but the problem is way more than we thought it was going to be. We're going to need you to pay another 1,000. So you have family members, you have young adults, you have your grandchildren, your children. Tell them, hey, my computer is messing up. Can you help me? Can you look at this? Okay. Payment app scams. I'm getting so many text messages from about Zelle. Did I make a payment? Venmo, you need to do something with your account. If you know that you don't have these particular payment apps, don't engage. Just delete that and don't reply. No, I didn't send it. No, will lead them into calling you. And then now they have to ask you about your financial information. We also regulate student loans, and we already know how that's going. So if you have individuals who are having problems or struggling with their student loans, they can contact our department. Now that is a lot of information about some of the, and I said some of the scams that are out there, but these are prevalent. These are critical. Please be mindful, don't engage, and also don't answer unknown calls. Let's look at some examples. Next slide, Sally. I'd like to show visuals, okay? So this is an example of a phishing scam. And if you look at the red boxes, those all have errors. So if you are not paying attention to it, the first thing that you're going to look at is the Bank of America logo, which looks perfect because that's what it looks like. But if you look at the very first line at the top that says from Bank of America, look at the email address. It's whatever at Comcast.net. Why would the email for Bank of America be Comcast, which is a cable station, .net, be coincided with Bank of America? But this is the ploy to get you to not look for errors and to look at the logo. So please be mindful that just because a logo looks real doesn't always mean that the information that is in the body of the email and or letter is correct. Last thing I want to point out on here is where the HTTPS, the Bank of America, where it says, please sign into your account, that is actually a hidden link underneath there. They want us to click on a link which could give us viruses, and now they have information that we didn't want to provide. So just because you see a logo, please be mindful that it doesn't always reflect that it's from that agency. Again, you should be going to the source. If you have Bank of America, calling Bank of America and saying, hey, I got this email, I just want to verify it. Next slide, Sally. Here's an example of a phone text scam, that smishing that I was talking to you about. We've identified some unusual activity on your online banking. They want you to log in here. Of course, that sounds very serious. It's urgent, but there's something missing with that, excuse me, in that link, and as to why it's not secure. And I'll talk about that. Over to your right, where it gives that 201 area code number, and it's telling you that it's a notice from your bank. Your card is locked temporarily. Please call this number. Again, if you know that these, of course, these are urgent messages, delete them. If you bank with Chase, don't click, don't call that number. Go to the source yourself. Call the bank number that you searched out yourself. And come on, people, if you know that you are not expecting a parcel or a package, why would you be tracking something? Why would you click on that? We have to stop and think. These messages want you to act quickly and act fast, but today you're going to not do that anymore. You're going to delete it. And if you know that you ordered something and you are expecting a package, you're going to follow your own tracking. Next slide, please. Earlier I said in that with that phishing scam, that the link was incorrect, that it was not a secure link. Before you buy online or log into a website, you need to check the website link to make sure it's legitimate. And how do you know to do that? Secure means with that S, HTTP, it should have that S, which means that it's secure. And underneath that, it's unsecured connection if it doesn't have that. So those are the two visual examples. And please remember, don't just close your internet browser. Be sure to log out of your websites, okay? Next slide, please. There's that tech support that I was talking about, that scam. And again, don't call that number that they're asking you to call. Turn off your computer, reset it, and call somebody else to help you, like a family member, but don't call that number. Next. And just real quick, the money apps, transfer and scam. Before you send money through an app, always make sure you're sending it or accepting money from the correct person. If I'm going to use Zelle, there's Zelle, Venmo, PayPal. That's the new age of how people are sending money now. You know, my kids don't want me to write them a check for their birthdays anymore. It's like, can you send me a Zelle, which comes from my bank account directly to their bank account. And I know that how, because I have verified the phone number or their app address, okay? So we're also seeing pop-ups, text messages. Did you attempt a Zelle payment for the amount of $5,000? What they want you to do here is say, oh God, no, I didn't send anybody that money. They want you to click on and say no. And when you do, you're going to get a phone call immediately saying, hey, I see that there was, that you didn't send this Zelle payment. Let me have your banking information and let me help you rectify the situation. Well, let's just start right there. Once you send it, it's gone. Okay? Once you send a Zelle, Venmo, or PayPal, it's gone. That's why it's important for you to make sure that you are sending it to the correct person. All right? And this ploy to reply yes or no, we don't want you to do that. You need to delete that immediately. Call your bank, go into the source to say, hey, I want to make sure that there's no money missing out of my account. The bottom line, so when you use money apps, you have to do the transaction yourself. If you didn't perform the transaction, you know that that is a red flag scam email, okay? If you did not perform the transaction to send money yourself, you know that that is a scam wanting to get your information, okay? So let's see where we are. I'm going to throw it back to Sally. I know that was a lot of information. She's going to give you some tools on how you can protect yourself. Okay.
Well, thank you, Jackie. I know she went over a lot of different scams. So let's say what are some steps that you can do to protect yourself from becoming the next victim of financial fraud or scam? So one of the things that you can do is credit reports. When was the last time you looked at your credit report? Well, why is it important to look at your credit report? Because it can show incorrect information, which means if you apply for credit, you can potentially pay higher interest because there's incorrect, bad information on your credit report. Also, you can see signs of identity theft on your credit report. Someone else, my sister had, on her credit report, somebody from Texas opening up a Sears account, buying a refrigerator. And she didn't know about it until she looked at her credit report, which can be months, even years later. And it can, really ruin your credit. So what you want to do is pull your credit report about once a year. And here's what you do. The federal government allows all individuals to apply to actually get a free credit report from the three major credit reporting agencies. That's Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax. So once a year, you're allowed to pull your credit for free. There's only one website, one company that the federal government has authorized, and you want to go to annualcreditreport.com. Now, if you Google free credit reports, you're going to get all these different, links and websites that claim free credit report, but this is it. The only one is annualcreditreport.com, or you can call the toll-free number at 877-322-8228 to get your free credit report. Now, I said, annual credit report, right? Once a year. But there was so much fraud happening during COVID that the federal government came out and said, you know what? You can get a free credit report once a week. Now, do we, the average, American need to pull their credit report once a week? Probably not, right? And that law was supposed to expire at the end of 2024. Then the government said, you know what? We're going to go ahead and extend it indefinitely. So now basically once a week, if you wanted to, you can pull a free credit report. So what you're doing, you get your credit report and you want to get a copy from each one because it can have different information. And you're looking at it and you want to make sure that your name is correct, your past addresses are correct, of course, your social security number, your personal identifying information is correct. And then you're looking at all the different accounts, all the credit, right? Making sure that everything is correct. If it's not correct, you're going to want to go ahead and contact Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax and tell them why it's not correct and try to get that fixed and changed. Make sure it's updated. If you have any issues with the three credit reporting agencies, you can go ahead and file a complaint with us against those three credit reporting agencies. Now, let's say you pull your credit report and it's correct. And let's say you're not going to need any more credit. You're not going to be opening up any more credit cards. You're not going to go ahead and go get a new car and finance it. You're done accessing credit. Then you want to consider freezing your credit. Again, freezing your credit. And you have to do this with all three of the credit reporting agencies. You have to call or go online with Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax. So what does it mean when you freeze your credit? It means you can't open up any more credit cards. You cannot open up any more credit. No more car loans, no more mortgages, nothing. But guess what? You can't open it, but neither can the scammers. So it protects you from potential identity theft in the future. So you freeze your credit today, and then all of a sudden your favorite grandson 2 months down the line says, Grandma, I need you to help me co-sign for a car loan. And you're like, oh, okay, well, you froze your credit. That means you can't help. What you now can do is unfreeze your credit. And you want to do that again with each one of the three credit reporting agencies by contacting them, and it's free. Now, if you have been a victim identity theft, there's something wrong with your credit report, then you want to go ahead and do a fraud alert and you do it with one, and technically they're supposed to notify the other two, but on the safer side, I would probably call or email all three, Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax, and put a fraud alert on all three as well. All right, so what else can you do to protect yourself? I'm gonna go ahead and put all this up. Okay, here we go. So protect yourself from recap. Now, I know Jack has gone over some of this information, but again, we keep saying it because there are still our older adults out there falling for these scams. So remember that. Only 1 in 4 seniors will report the scam because whether they're afraid, they're embarrassed, they're scared, they don't want their family members to know, they don't want their friends to know, or maybe they don't even know where to report it to. So we keep saying it, and these scams would not be occurring unless there was somebody falling for the scams, right? So that's why we repeat the same information. So, number 1 tip, do not respond to scammers. Do not engage. Do not send money to somebody you've never met, right? Do your research. There's nothing free in this life, and if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. So if you're approached with some new investment scam, something that you've never heard of, but it sounds kind of really good and you want to get involved, take the time to do your research. Okay, don't just believe somebody, and it could even be somebody you trust or somebody, you know, at higher level in your church organization. They might have fallen victim to the scam and they don't know it yet, and yet they're recommending a potential investment idea to you. You need to do your research. Look it up. Make sure that it is a real investment. Again, take the time. Take your time. Take a step back. Before you click, tap, send somebody money, right? Take your time. Take a step back. Talk to somebody about it. You don't have to do it quickly. You don't have to do it today. Another thing, do not share your information. Personal identifying information. That is your name, address, date of birth, right? Social security number, your address, all those things, your personal identifying information. Do not share it. You need to protect it. Now, I also like to say, remember, financial institutions spend millions of dollars protecting their customers from cyber attack, right? From these hackers. But it still happens. It doesn't matter whether it's Target, Neiman Marcus, it could be Ticketmasters, it could be Social Security even, and even the Experian and those credit reporting companies. They've all had data breaches. What does that mean? Your information, it could be out there already on the internet, right? So until that information gets sold and then to a scammer, and then they could be, you know, using information to commit identity fraud, you need to do everything you can to protect yourself, your accounts, and your hard-earned money. Talk to someone. Ask someone you trust. And if it sounds too good to be true, okay, it probably is. So talk to somebody about it. And then you need to report the incident. Again, only 1 in 4 Americans we actually report it. And again, it could be various different reasons. It may not, if you report the incident, it may not mean that you're getting your money back. Again, as Jackie mentioned, if you sent money, you know, wire transfers, cryptocurrency transfers, Venmo, Zelle, that money, once it's sent, it's gone, right? It's going to be very hard to trace and get back because a lot of these scammers nowadays are not that boy in the basement of his, you know, parents' home doing a computer hack. These are now criminal organizations that are committing this type of fraud, and it can be overseas, different countries where we have no jurisdiction. So yes, you may not get your money back, but it can help maybe protect the next person from falling victim to that scam. Or maybe it gives the opportunity once you report it so that the FTC, the FBI can gather enough information so that they can find somebody, so that they can track that scammer and stop him from committing that fraud in the future. Additional safety tips to protect yourself. When you're out shopping, please be aware of your surroundings. Know where you're at, know the people that are around you, right? Don't keep your open purse with your wallet hanging out of your wallet and the top of your shopping cart. Do not click on any unknown links, right? As Jackie said, do not click on links, whether it's via email or on your text. Go to the source, look up the real phone number, right? If you have any questions, use a shredder. One of the best investments you can spend, $35, is buying a shredder so that you go ahead and shred all your personal identifying information, any mail, any document that has your name on it. Do not leave mail in the mailboxes in, those blue bins, right? Overnight or after the pickup time on the regular day. If you know the last pickup from Mailman Joe is at 5 o'clock, there's no reason for you to put mail in that mailbox at 6 o'clock at night. Wait until the next day. Why? Because mail is being stolen out of those mailboxes. Mail fraud, millions of dollars, right? Just even in Southern California area that was reported a couple years ago, they caught a ring. Millions of dollars was stolen from the mailboxes. So also deposit important mail directly to the post office. You guys, ladies, have time you're retired, drive to the post office. If it's important, drop it off with them. You can also use an anti-fraud theft gel pen if you're writing checks and putting it in the mailbox or signing any other important documents, because there are special liquids that these scammers use. And if they get a hold of one of your checks, either through the mailbox, they can actually wash off the ink on the pay to and the dollar amount. They can make it to themselves and make the payment higher. So you want to use an anti-fraud, anti-theft gel pen, which currently, if you use that type of pen, the solution that they're using, it does not wash off that ink. You can buy these pens on Amazon or Office Depot, about $3 to $5 for a pen. And then do not close your internet browser. Jackie mentioned it. Do not just hit the X and close it, especially in your financial institution. If you're logged in to your bank account, make sure you log out, right? And sometimes you don't see the log out button. Sometimes you have to go to your circle to your account. Sometimes it's on the left hand, it's at the bottom. They don't make it easy to log out, but you definitely want to log out of any website that you're on. Now I'm going to go ahead and turn it back over to Jackie to talk about how you can report fraud.
Thanks so much, Sally. We provide this information and these tools for all individuals, and we're hoping that you utilize them. It's just a step to help you and us, myself, to not fall victim and to protect your financial and your personal information as much as possible. And while she was talking about credit, freezing your credit, and that when someone gets a hold of your information or fills out a credit card because you threw it in the trash and you didn't an application in the trash, they become you. So recovering from identity theft, this booklet is a wonderful booklet, and it's hosted by the Federal Trade Commission, which is a federal government agency, and it gives a step-by-step guide to recovering from identity theft. And it takes a long time to do that, to get, back to the normal life of who you were and who you are. So these tools that we're providing for you, we're hoping that, and we know that they are helpful, but the Federal Trade Commission, you can report identity theft here to identitytheft.gov. And you can also request the booklet as well. You can also get help from your state assembly member and your senator's office if you've fallen victim, because there are steps that you need to get things back. But like Sally said, put a freeze on your credit that you're no longer going to be opening up in it, so the thief can't open up any credit in your name and become you. Next slide. And just reporting fraud, if you have questions, please contact the DFPI, and there's our website, and we have that toll-free number where we have, like she said, live individuals who answer questions. You want to verify a company or a bank or individual that you're thinking about doing business with here in California, that they are properly licensed. You can also go to our website and you can see some of the orders or the desist and refrain orders or the actions that we have taken against these bad actors. And like she said, see something, say something. If you are questioning a letter, an email, a phone call us, ask us. And if you feel like you need to file a complaint, we can also help you do that. But we are here to give you information as to whether the individual company you want to do business with is licensed, and if there's been a problem. You can always report it to your local law enforcement as well. Some enforcement agencies have crime units, they have fraud units, so you can do that as well. And then the other resource to report scams and fraud, again, is the Federal Trade Commission, and that's a report fraud.ftc.gov. The other one was identity theft with the FTC. And then, because we are constantly on our computers and we're in cyber and we're just doing a lot of things online, if you've happened to become a victim of fraud and through the internet, you can report that to the FBI, which is the Federal Bureau of Investigation, and it's the IC3.gov, which means Internet Crime 3. So this is some information here where you can report. You can always call us if you have a question. If it's not within our jurisdiction, we will get your complaint to the appropriate agency that can handle that. So with that being said, we want to thank everybody for being here. And then again, lastly, contacting us at dfpi.ca.gov, calling our toll-free number, and not being on hold and pressing buttons for 5 years. We're very proud of that. We're very proud of that. And then if you have a question, you can always send it to askdfpi@dfpi.ca.gov. And someone will get back to you, or we'll send it over to our consumer services unit. And we have a great Consumer Connection newsletter that comes out every single month with things that we have accomplished, some of the laws that are going on, again, what we're doing with other agencies to take down these bad actors. So if you are interested in that, you can always see our list of other events that we're going to be presenting at, or even just hosting a resource table and distributing information. You can subscribe to our Consumer Connection newsletter. And with that, we'd like to say thank you for being here, and please be safe and remember to protect yourself from fraud as best you can. Thank you.
Thank you for viewing this Next Village video recording. We hope you enjoyed it. Please help us spread the word and tell friends and neighbors about Next Village events and services for seniors and adults with disabilities in San Francisco. Visit our website to learn more about our vibrant, growing network, as well as to view our calendar of upcoming Zoom and in-person events and activities in San Francisco. Our website is nextvillagesf.org. Contact us to join our email list to learn about events and resources for seniors in San Francisco. And subscribe to the Next Village YouTube channel by clicking the button below.